Aloha, peoples. Um, so, thought I'd make a video. I said I would. And I got 4 questions that were asked. The whole 4 questions. But actually, they were good ones. Like, usually I have to kind of, like, pick through them, and be like, or like, I've already answered that, and then... But, no, these ones were not too bad. But before I get to those, I need to tell you guys a story. And when you have memories that you've blocked out because it was like so embarrassing, and you're just like, you wake up one morning and you're like, oh my god, that happened. And that happened this morning to me. And I woke up and I was like, it was a memory that happened last year when I was flying to Europe with my 2 friends. And so right before we ended up leaving, I was actually moving out of the dorms. And the day I moved out of the dorms was the day I was flying out. And so I was kind of scattered everywhere. But I had most of my stuff packed. And my one backpack, I guess I left some stuff in that I packed from my room in my backpack that I was going to Europe with. And so we flew from Salt Lake to Minneapolis. And then we were going through customs and we were going to go straight to London. And we're in Minneapolis, and the lady, she's going through my stuff, and she's like, you have some liquids in here. After she goes through the scan, I'm like, what? I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't have any liquids. I went through security in Salt Lake, and they were no big deal. And she's like, no. She's like, well, we'll need to check. And I was like, okay, go ahead. I'm like, I don't really know what's in there, but okay. And so she starts going through, and all of a sudden she's gets to this brown grocery bag. And I was just like, oh my God. You can just throw that away. And she's like, what? I'm like, just throw it away. I save us both the embarrassment of looking what's in there and just throw it away. And she's like, well, she's like, there's only one thing in here that says it's a liquid. And I was like, okay. And she opens it up, and it was a bag full of condoms and lube. And throughout my school years, I was the campus just gives you free condoms and lube, and so I was collecting up for that fateful day that I start getting laid. And she opens it up, and the look on her face is like, and then my face was like that too. And my 2 friends are like, what's going on? I'm like, nothing. And she's just like, all right. And I'm like, yeah, you can just throw that away. And she's just like, well, she's like, we'll just throw this away. And she quickly throws it into the trash. She's like, where are you guys going? I'm like, Europe. And she's like, oh, well, you have fun. And I was just like, I'm damaged for life. And the lady just smiled at me, and I was like, this is awkward. It was really, really embarrassing. And so my 4 questions that were asked to me. What do you wear to bed? Comma. I hope nothing. Question mark. Usually I wear my underwear, but last night I actually wore nothing. I was in bed, and I was really just it was really hot in my room, and I was just kind of dying. And I had my cat on my bed that was sleeping next to me. And I'm like, oh, I'm just sweating and bleh. And I was just like, well, instead of throwing my cat off my bed and making her feel all sad, I was just like, fine, I'll just take off my underwear. And then I slept like that. What is your morning routine is the second question. And my morning routine involves waking up, laying in bed for another half hour to an hour. Then I get out of bed, I use the restroom, I brush my teeth, get a drink of water, and then depending if I want to be clean or what I'm doing that day, I usually will take a shower. That is my morning routine. And then, where do you want to make your permanent address one day, since where you are now is so boring? Well, where I am now is my hometown, and my hometown is very boring. No one I know or lives here. So that's why it's boring. And I have no idea. I'm maybe Australia when I'm there. We'll find out. And then what is the favorite band you had when you were 16? My favorite bands I liked when I was 16 had to have been, I think, Newfound Glory, Sum 41, Good Charlotte, bands like that. 5 minutes even. Goodbye.